unexplainable stains. You want to make sure it's looking as nice as it can, because when you go out, you're representing both yourself and usually the event that you're at. The first thing, to keep your fursuit looking nice, you can undo certain things. First rule is don't get it dirty in the first place. Preventative maintenance is very, very important. A lot of people ask what you should wear underneath your fursuits. This would be a very good example. They're very warm. You will sweat. You're very human. That happens, especially when you're, especially if you're shooting outside, like during the mini golf this afternoon. Usually the oils and stuff in the skin don't necessarily hurt the fur, but you'll be, first of all, more comfortable. Secondly, you can wear it, a lot longer. You don't have access to really wash your shoots when you're at a convention. So if you're here 3 or 4 days, late Saturday, Sunday, after your shoot's been soaked a few times, you're not going to want to get in it yourself, let alone people wanting to go up behind you. So, you have your balaclavas, which basically go under your head. Does a couple things. He's got one, Michelle's got one on. First of all, keeps the hair out of your eyes. It's hard enough to see out of these things. You don't want things falling into your eye because you can't exactly rub them by taking your head off. It will also keep your sweat from getting into the head. The head is the hardest thing to wash. You can't exactly throw them in a washing machine. Don't really want to put them in a tub either, because especially if it's a foam head, it'll take a long time to dry, and things that are wet tend to get mildewed. So generally, I have yet to wash the head. If you have to wash the outside, usually wet rag. I wouldn't really even necessarily use soap.
Is directed heat okay to dry out the head?
No. Do not use heat. Most synthetic furs are based off of plastic. We know what happens to plastic when it gets warm.
Whether or not the exert of the head be injury.
I wouldn't recommend it, period.
I use a hand dryer for it. I use a hand dryer for it on the low setting, and I've taken it to the TV, and just put that next to the TV and upside down. Let the hand dryer plug.
Expert fursuiters who have done that, Latin Vixen, for example, used the dryer. She's been doing this forever and ever. She thought she put it on air, put it on high. So it's not recommended.
Take a chance, but be really careful.
Yeah.
Better to just. I have these little fans I bought at Walmart for $7. Little round fans, and they tilt. So what I do is I just tilt it so it's straight up, and turn it on, and set my head right on top of it.
Air conditioners. Your room has an air conditioner. So very good place to polish your head.
So what's the fastest way to get a very wet head dry?
Just blow some air into it.
Ideally, if you're wearing the balaclava, your head's not going to get that wet to begin with. I suit for a couple hours, and usually the inside of my head is slightly damp, if that.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for a unitard and balaclava. It is the best thing.
Speaking of balaclavas, look at this.
Yeah.
I don't have a balaclava. What I did is I took some old tights and just, chopped them up, and so I got a poor man's balaclava.
Yeah, and headbands work too. That'll at least keep the sweat out of your eyes. They don't really protect the suit very much, so if you're looking just to do that, that's bare minimum. But the balaclavas, you can usually get them on eBay for like $2 each. They're well worth it. It's a good thing. Also, if you have an open mouth, if you wear it right, you won't be able to see your mouth anymore, because it'll be behind the balaclava.
Yeah.
That's another good point. You'll be harder to talk, but most suitors don't talk anyway when they're not at a con. And one tip I've heard is a lot of the luggage has the telescopic handles. You can put your head actually on the handle. That'll keep it dry too. When it's drying out, it'll let the hair go into it. If not, just keep the head upside down, either like on top of a TV, or if you have an air conditioner, just put it on the air conditioner. You can direct the vent into it. Or like I said, they have little fans. The fans in the headless lounge here that I think Shorka built with the dryer hose, another good place to stick your head if it's really, really wet. Pop it in there for 15-20 minutes, it'll dry it up for you. The bodysuit, not as big of a deal, because you can either hand wash them or put them in a washing machine depending on how strong your stitch work is. and if it's airbrushed or not. Unitards are still good things to have. These get a little more pricey if you get a good one. Regular spandex is okay, but this is actually a dive skin. You can get them online from Diver Supplies, usually $40, $50. Main benefit is cooling. They wick sweat away from you, but they still keep it contained inside as opposed to going to the suits. First of all, your suit stays drier. Second of all, as soon as air hits you, even if it's warm air, it's moving air, you'll be cold. You go into a headless sounds room one of these, you're going to be cold. Also, you know, it keeps the sweat off your fur, so it's not being transported to the people hugging you. Yeah.
We can attest to those skin suits because with those heavy, especially like with the muscle suits that we had, the orca suits and adult with the muscles on the chest, that foam keeps your body heated.
Yeah.
And when we first got them, we didn't have the dive suits, and it was like 5, 10, 15 minutes later, and it was getting, the muscles were, they were soaking the sweat off.
Like a sponge.
Like a sponge. We got those, and even after the first video this morning, this fursuit was a little wet around the collar from, just right up around here. But the rest of the fursuit was dry, but those were soaking wet.
Yeah, and these you can get 2 or 3 of these, throw them in your bathroom sink at the hotel. You can wash them and bring them out, and they dry overnight.
They dry overnight, or also.
They dry good. They dry well. Even if you forget to hang them up, they're still dry.
Whereas if you get your fursuit wet, 24 hours later, it's still
wet,
and now smells.
Also concerning those, is there going to be any secondary damage to the suit if you use baby powder and have the unitard over it? Because I've noticed the baby powder getting on the unitard. Do you think that's going to damage the interior of the suit?
What would you be using baby powder to begin with?
It actually helps absorb the sweat even more when you use it, and then you put the unitard on top.
I haven't really heard of anybody doing that, have you?
I don't think it would do any harm. I mean, baby powder you put on babies, so it's pretty gentle, I mean,
It makes it
I don't think
nice.
it's any harsh.
Yeah, but actually it does help a great deal. I actually got that from her.
That's what I have here from her.
Right, but if you don't sweat, it's not going to make it much worse on you for overheating.
These?
No.
The baby powder?
Yeah, if you use baby powder to stop from sweating, it's not going to make it much worse.
It's not going to stop you from sweating. I think it's going to absorb the sweat that you do expel.
Right. But I mean, that's to cool you down, right?
Possibly.
I think it'll only make a little bit of difference. It's going to stop you from sweating completely.
Especially if you tell the baby powder is going between the unitard and you, or between the unitard and the suit?
Between your body and the unitard. It also helps get the unitard on if it's a tight fit.
Sounds like it works.
Sure, why not? I mean, especially if it's a unitard, it's not going to be that much on the suit. Of course, you don't want to leave little dandruff trails as you walk around.
Someone hugs you and there's powder.
Definitely listen to that. Like I said, you really can't wash the suits while you're here. What you can do is disinfect them. You can go the expensive route with MVAC, which this is not. And you have to import one from Canada, I think.
Something like
Or
that.
medical supplies.
It's industrial
It's
strength.
highly expensive. Or you can go to Walmart and get the cheap stuff, which is the exact same stuff for
$198.
$1.98 on sale.
$198 Walmart.
Same exact chemical makeup.
Exactly.
And if TSA confiscates it, you can get more.
Yeah, it's called. I think what we call it, wallback.
Yeah. It's antibacterial spray disinfectant. Great
Pretty
word.
much.
They killed bacteria that's inside the head. They don't really care about it.
Yes. This is one thing you can put on your head. You don't really want to spray your head down if you're planning on using the head again. This stuff evaporates fairly quickly, but it's still a little harsh to be breathing it the next morning. And you don't always know the next time you're going to want to get back in the suit. You get out of the suit, you spray it down. 2 hours later, like this 41st suit is congregating in the lobby for whatever reason. And now you can't put your head on because you just disinfected it and put 5 ounces of spray in there.
Yeah, you only need a little spritz too. You don't got to soak it down.
Yeah. Generally, I spray once I get home. I think that's a personal thing. If you keep the head dry, you're not really going to need to spray it down while you're at a convention or an event. Generally, it's a good thing to do when you get home. It'll eliminate the bacteria, so you won't have to worry about it really. And that pretty much takes care of the head. Same thing with the body. That you can do during the convention if you want to. Yappy kind of needs to on occasion because he suits 40 hours. To 40 hours to 60 sometimes. If you're not suiting that much, again, do it by judge. You can smell the suit and you'll know if it needs